What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Macklin here. And I had something happen to me today that I thought was interesting because it was not a new situation that I was put in, but I had a different reaction than I had ever had in the past. I almost just like broke out of a routine that I didn't even realize that I was in. So, this morning I woke up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I always wake up at 6 o'clock, even if it's the weekend. But last night I stayed up until 1 o'clock working. So I needed to get some beauty rest. And when I woke up this morning, I had a coaching session at 9:30 with my coach. So I didn't have any time. I just took my dog for a quick walk. I drank some water, I made some coffee, and I plopped down in front of the computer. And I was feeling a little bit out of it for the beginning of the coaching session just because I wasn't able to do my routine this morning. But my coach energized me. He had some really interesting stuff to say, and we, did some exercises, and I just felt good in terms of reframing my existing mindset. Now, you would think based on what I just said that like today was a home run, right? You'd think like, oh yeah, he probably had a really productive day. But what ended up happening was after that coaching session, I went through my morning routine, which I finished at like 11:30, almost 12 o'clock, which is like 4 hours later than I normally have my morning routine. And that made me also feel like odd. But what what happened after that was I went down a rabbit hole where I started to Google for hours and hours and hours the next place that I want to work from. I live in Berlin, I work in Berlin, but I was thinking like all of these different cities and towns seem so cool because, yeah, it's wintertime in Berlin and a little bit dreary. So I was thinking like maybe a change of scenery would be nice. Well, I did that for about 4 hours. There were some periods where like I was, doing some genuine research for an article that I'm writing. But yeah, it was pretty extensive, let's just say that. So when I finally came out of that, I was feeling disheartened because I felt like I used the dopamine that I would normally rely on to get work done on the research for best cities to vacation in near Berlin. And it worried me because in the past, I would have probably just watched Netflix. That was like my normal reaction to things when I felt like I was depleted of willpower. I really didn't feel like I had any, I didn't feel like I had any gas in the tank today. So as I'm sitting in front of my computer, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know what I need to do in terms of writing this article. And it's not an article for anybody. It's for myself. So nobody is like holding me to a deadline except me. And I just promised myself that I would give it my best, that I would sit in front of the computer and I would just try to write. So for 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer, I just wrote. And I looked at it after it was finished, after I finished that hour of writing. And it wasn't the best writing that I've ever done, but I gave it real effort and focused all my attention on it. So I felt pretty damn good when I was done with that hour. And it relieved any of the tension that I had. It it unblocked, like imagine like, those mine carts in a mine in a cartoon or something. And there's like a boulder in front of the mine cart, so the mine cart can't move anymore. When I was still bogged down by the thoughts of like, fuck, I really just didn't do what I wanted to do today, I saw the cart and I was like, it's not going to go anywhere. I may as well just pack it in and come back to it tomorrow, try to move that boulder tomorrow, or maybe the boulder won't be there. But when I actually just committed to doing just a little bit of work, I just gave myself permission to try and it didn't have to be perfect. There were a lot of sentences as I was writing where I was like, that looks like shit. But I just kept going and I just, I didn't look at the clock. I just waited and I just kept writing until I felt like, okay, I've put in as much effort as I want to put in right now. And I gave it my best for 1 hour. And when I was done with it, that boulder was completely gone. And my cart in the mind was just going right down the track, going full speed. It gave me momentum. I recorded a podcast. Then I went to the gym. I ate a really healthy dinner and I just feel good now. So the reason that I wanted to make this podcast, not this podcast, dude, I keep doing that, man. I just keep saying the wrong stuff. I'm doing too much content. The reason that I made this video is just that I think if you can approach very similar situations with a little bit more consciousness, I guess, just like more presence, you could make different decisions that will lead you to different outcomes. So even if it feels like it's predetermined because you've been in that position so many times, you don't have to be a victim. If somebody makes you feel a certain way and your reaction to them making you feel that way is that you yell or you cry or you bottle it up and it makes you feel like shit, the next time that you're put in a situation where you are starting to feel those emotions return, think about it. Take a step back and actually say to yourself, do I want to feel this way again? Or if you find that you're in a similar position to how I was today, where all I wanted to do was watch Netflix and eat popcorn, ask yourself, can I do that later when I'm done doing the thing that I want to do? Yeah, it's not going to be easy to do the thing that I want to do, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. That shouldn't be a surprise. That shouldn't be the excuse of why you're not doing it. So just give yourself enough of a break to, suck and to just try, because even if you try and you don't succeed today, you don't manage to finish the piece that you're working on or the design that you're doing, or if you're writing code or you're working on a business plan, even if you don't finish it, you're going to feel so much better tomorrow when you wake up, because you're going to say, damn, I actually did some shit yesterday when I didn't feel like doing it, which I'm going to tell you right now feels twice as good. Even though I didn't do the whole thing, it feels twice as good doing it when I didn't want to do it than it does when I do something, to the max because I'm in the mood to do it. So it's kind of like taking out the trash. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like taking out the trash. And there are days where I just take out the trash because, the kitchen's getting really full. But even tonight, the kitchen wasn't getting full and I took out the trash and I felt pretty good about it. Just because I felt like I just didn't want it to be in the kitchen anymore. And it wasn't even a full bag. I could have just kept it there for probably a week. But I was like, you know what? There's some cauliflower in the trash. It's going to smell like shit in 2 days. I just want to get it out of here. So treat it like that, man. But until the next video, I'm wishing you guys all the best. If you have anything that you're working on right now that you feel is holding you back, or you're feeling resistance toward it, just remember, we're all human beings. We all feel this way and we're all together. So talk to somebody, call one of your buddies, call your family member, just tell them how you're feeling. And then when you're done talking, do the work. That's it. Or don't talk and just do the work. It's up to you. Some people need to talk about it before they do it. Other people just want to jump straight into it. You got to figure out what works for you. And just let me know in the comments if you have any other tips, because, we're all on this journey together. I don't have all the answers. I'm just looking for as much knowledge as I can acquire. All right. I'll see you guys later. Have a nice weekend.